It's breaking when there are clouds in the sky. You'll get by if you smile through your fear and sorrow. Smile, and maybe tomorrow you'll see the sun come shining through for you. Light up your face with gladness high and remind some sadness and do a tear. Welcome everybody. The show Friday Live Agile number 87 will start soon. So please come in, have a seat in the loungy Agile Lounge for business agility. So take a seat. Welcome LinkedIn. About 5 people on LinkedIn. There's a total of, we are right now live this Friday, October the 7th. And I put that song because 2 years ago, I was seeing the screening, a special screening of The Joker. Why So Serious with Joaquin Phoenix. And this is a song from Mr. Jimmy Durante. Smile, because today on October 7th is the worldwide smiling day, so keep smiling. So why so serious? Just relax. It's Friday. It's going to be a long weekend in Canada. It's our turkey Thanksgiving thing, and unfortunately I cannot turn the camera, but in front of me the color of fall, my favorite color, orange, burgundy, green leaf and yellow and stuff. It's all around us. I love it so much. That's why I came back from Mexico for that great season. And remember one thing, guys. Always remember that the sun is always shining somewhere in this galaxy, in this universe. So welcome back, amazing and beautiful people, to the Friday Live Agile, provide to you from the Agile Lounge for business agility in Montreal, New York, Austin, Phoenix, and Cancun. Isn't it amazing? So this is where we coach, remote way and everything. And this is the subject of today, the new world of work. And specifically, and let's cut the music now, and specifically, three new ways for recruiter, but also for candidate. What is the candidate experience? And I might want to do today, it's about an hour show, so the last 15 minutes, I would like to keep it to open line, open conversation with anyone. So now you could chat your comments, your questions, whatever you want on this live streaming this Friday, again, October 7th. And if you see the rewatch on Rumble and YouTube, especially, and even in LinkedIn, you could also leave your comment anytime you want. And first, before going to the deep of the subject that might interest talent acquisition, or I see one of my colleagues, I love his innovative mind. He called himself, what is he called himself again, Emmanuel? Don't know if you're here listening and if you'd like to. Yes, candidate experience manager. I will suggest you to put leader, because a manager, you manage things like chicken, and a leader is more like probably someone who would like to help to have this experience for candidates. So very good mindset, by the way. I praise you. I don't know if my colleague from online joined us. And by the way, online business system, it's a great company that they don't have HR, they have people care. So that's another way, that's another conceptual thing, but in action, because I love the value of this company. We look out for each other. We are energized by what we do. Oh, and by the way, it's always a company like this, passion. We do what's right. It's a bit like open space from Mr. Owen. The people who will be in the open space are the right people. When it starts, it's the right time. And the outcome will be empirically what is it. So why we do what it's right at online business system. We are always evolving. That's very important. Evolution over transformation again. It's forward thinking, forward innovation. So we're always evolving. And we finish what we start. That's very important. And together we deliver result guarantee. I love it. That's a great mindset, great values, but it's just values. It's not just creating a culture. It's culture in action. They call it like this. So Kimberly, if you're with us, I say hello to you. And again, as my coach told me to do, the green dot right here for me to be with you eye to eye contact, even if it's still virtual for now. And again, I would like to make an invitation for you to support the channel by your like, especially on Rumble and YouTube. Smash the like button, smash the glove on Rumble, and so you will have more of this. And I'm so thankful of the support that I received lately. And one of the developer who is a subscriber to the Real Agile podcast, the monthly one at the end of the month, that we have this audio podcast. It's also sometimes visual. We did one last week with Sabine Fab. Again, thank you so much to her to have shared our 90-day scrum of personal and professional development, by the way, to help. And again, I'd like to thank Abigail, Gio, and Matt for their Bitcoin. And now we did replace the PayPal me. You could still PayPal us. You could still send us your support through Interact if you're Canadian. But we have something new because one of the developers who follow me says like, hey, you know what I like to do with other subscription that I am on, it's to purchase you a coffee, especially that I know you, Coach AF, you love cafe. So he helped me setting up on my new website at agile-lounge.com. If you'd like to have more information on how to contact me and see all the other episodes before, go there. All the information to get in touch with me and to start an interaction and evolution together, it's there. And also, you could use a secure button to buy me a cafe. And I'm doing 3 coffee a day. So just the tips like this. So thank you to Rafael Pustano for his suggestion and help me setting up into my WordPress website. So it's a buy me a cafe now. And again, for both Rumble and YouTube, you guys are kind of amazing because it's always an hour show you watch. 52% of you watch almost like 40 minutes on average, and 76% of you are not subscribed. I don't know why, but it's always better if you subscribe, hit the bell, then you could interact better with us, send us an email, chat, comment, everything, and that support the algorithm on YouTube especially. That's helping us having our message. So if you like our message, so just share this video to anyone else to spark their mind, and also subscribe and hit the bell. We are live every Friday, 12 noon Eastern time, which is 11 Central and 6-ish p.m. in Europe. And I know I'm listening to my subscriber feedback. Of course, the podcast, you could download it and you do your workout, you're jogging with it. So that's not really an issue. But for the live, those who'd like to still watch videos or something like this and see my face here, that's whatever. A lot of people from Europe, they say it's kind of a bit late on a Friday for us at 6 or 5 in the UK. I understand that. So we're gonna, and we are doing some tests right now on having this Wednesday around 8 o'clock, but it was not necessarily fruitful. No. So maybe what we're gonna do is for the video chat, it's gonna be a replay live on the Wednesday morning, because apparently people in Europe, and please tell me in the comment below if you're in line with your other colleague from Europe, to have it on the midweek on Wednesday, the replay, or another show live at 8 a.m. Eastern, which is about, if I'm correct, around 2-ish or 1-ish in Europe. Is that it? Like 8? Well, yes, 8 plus 6 is 14. Oh boy. Did I finish my math in college? Anyways, so today, the new world of work, that I prefer to call it, or the future of work. A lot of buzzing again. People talk about everything. It's silence quitting, struggling to find a great resource and specialist. And by the way, for those who don't know me, of course, I'm Alexandre Frédéric Joly at your services. I'm your coach AF. This is the persona of this, their Real Agile podcast and the Friday Live Agile podcast. So I would like to propose you 3 ways. There's 3 ways for now, but it could be a lot more. And I'm inviting anyone that work as a talent acquisition manager and people care, talent engagement and everything. If you would like to collectively contribute to this, not debate, but how could we actually adjust to this complexity, this uncertainty and ambiguity around the people who want to work a different ways, and all of those flipping that's happening. And we even have here a program to help those. Yes, I know, because the new generation, again, the famous 3% out of the blue that want to be an entrepreneur or at least a freelancer. Of course, there's more failure. That's why we say 3% will achieve the pivoting to becoming their own boss and their own business. But again, we have different behavior, we are different temperament and type of personality. So it's not for everyone. And there's still a 97% of us that still need this job. But this job, it's not a job anymore. It's more a career. So we saw in the 90s and early 2000s from job to career, and or to make something different, and the power of words, again, they were there. But now since the 2010, it's even, and of course with the accelerator of what we had the last 2 years, now the question arises of the stage, the space, the environment, and the interaction between us, and the virtualization of the workplace, and the choice that people have, the choice they could make or they could create. So you could be an entrepreneur, you could be someone who could have, you will need this agreement base that we propose here at the Agile Lounge. So it's all about that. And of course, I did develop, back in the day, was more talent agile, to teach people the role, the fundamental role of that you have in Kanban, Scrum, within DevOps, within a lean culture, and how to help recruiter decipher the fake from the real, so to speak. And I think it was very important in that sense. And but nowadays, we even move on about, we often talk about the customer voice and the customer feedback, but what about your employee feedback? What about how you could create an open space, a safe space, and also new ways of working, new ways of hiring, and just go on with an empirical process of doing so. So, we could talk a lot of time about agile, business agility, conscious leadership, and everything. But it's people. It's people first. They have to be simple. And do you have the credential? Do you have the experience? Do you have what it takes to do the work? And I think recruiter now, or talent acquisition specialist, or candidate experience leader, you should start asking powerful questions, as coaches like me do, to your candidate, and also in certain setting, to your internal or external client that need that person to fulfill a specific mission. And that's the thing. It's no more a job, no more a career. It's a mission, an evolving mission, and a skilled person, a passionate person that have to offer something to help you as a business to develop that product, provide that services, and everything. And of course, today, we're going to stay a lot holistic. It's the Friday Live Agile at the lounge. It's loungy, it's business loungy. So I won't go into in depth. It's just to spark your mind to questioning things. It concretely, among my conversation I have with a lot of people that work in the field of recruitment, whether it's agency, staffing agency, professional services that include also a kind of a body shop. Yes, I'm doing on purpose those words that have to change too. So today the angle is the three ways we like to talk, and for both the recruiter, the candidate, and also, as I said, in many settings now, the third party, which is the client. Internally, they will ask a people care or recruitment. It's a kind of a service. It's a interaction of transactional services within the organization, especially the medium and large organization. And if you're working as a recruiter within a staffing agency or a professional service agency that also offer consultant, so then you might have an order, you might have a request for a specific role. So today I won't go into a specific, I might do some example, but what I'm hearing more and more, and even myself, I'm a complete freelancer, I'm an entrepreneur, I got my own business, and I work with online business, I praised at the beginning of this show. And the thing is, I don't recall when I had, because here's the three things that we could change the way we're doing this. We talk about a CV, a curriculum vitae in Latin, which in the Anglosphere we call it more a resume, and I love it because it should be a resume. I think most of my clients, they don't care about what I did in 1998 in Yves Rocher. And a small talk within the cafe, within a discovery call. So here's the thing. But anyways, there's the CV. The second thing is about this, the CV, it should, like in the classical way of doing talent acquisition, what was that? The CV was to bring you to an interview. Okay. So the interview process, how is it changing? How is it evolving in terms of conversation, in terms of knowing, in terms of, is it the right person? Again, yes, on paper it seems right, but no. And what is the new way of working together, working with you, not for you and everything? So that's third one. It's open for, and if towards the end of the show, as I said, in about 30 minutes, we might have an exchange. I could open a Zoom audio if you like. If you want to call me, be live audio only or chatting, don't mind, but we could have this interaction. And for those who watch the replay, please comment, ask your questions, and the timer. My team and I will be a pleasure to interact with you as well, especially on Rumble and YouTube. So the first item, the famous CV. And I had the honor yesterday to be with an owner of recruitment agency. And I won't name anything here because I don't want to do publicity, and I want to keep respect of their anonymous for now. But I'm giving you, like, at least he's a founder and he's a coactive person in the field for about like the last 15 years, specifically in IT in Montreal. So we had an amazing dinner yesterday about it. And we're talking about, like I said, like, oh, so by the way, what's happening right now? Do you still run, and your recruiter are still running about CVs and resume? Are your client asking you for this and that? Because for me, let's set the stage here. I'm receiving requests for production. People will contact me from my form on this website, okay? And they will ask a free discovery session with me. So we talk about their needs, their training needs in agility and Scrum, their Scrum coaching, onboarding a team. This is one of our famous asks. A lot of organization out there, small, medium, and large, any size, they call us at the Agile Lounge. They want a free discovery session. At first, they were thinking of this kind of, thing of the past of agile transformation, and they realized that no, if they embrace real agility with our advice, it's let's onboard a pilot team, and from there we teach them, and then we scale it after. The real scaling is this: the pilot, we win. How do we not one size fit all to another? So it's another way. So for me, that's why I said to my friend yesterday, I said, I'm very curious because I'm not maintaining a CV. I've got my website. I've got my page on LinkedIn. I get a portfolio of things. I get a reference. It's word of mouth. And then because of that, they contact me. They have the free discovery call. We talk. It's a sales process. It's really a sales process for a freelancer and a consultant. But I understand there's 97% of you out there who are jumping from a job to another job, and you want that kind of safety and security of having people doing the paperwork for you. So you work at the big firm, and you could bench, and then. So that's another reality, and I'm not judging here. It's the other possibility. So now today I want to talk about this other possibility. What's happening for those who are still employee or consultant, but within an organization? And so my first question was, because for me, first is, what are your clients asking you at your staffing firm? He said, you know what? Most of the time, they will ask us for having someone with different type of skills and stuff. And we have to present candidate, but more and more, it's a one-pager that his agency is doing. With of course, the authorization of the candidate, and they present those candidates with the key element and with link to their portfolio or their LinkedIn. It's all on agreement. So with that one pager, of course, the client is, oh yes, that's cool. We've got Bridget here. She do UX, So yeah, I'd like to see her. So please invite her for a meeting. A meeting. So now, so you see, so less and less, especially the creative people, they have kind of, without necessarily a website, and actually you should always have a website if you work in IT. The developer could show what they did on what project you worked. So it's could be an extension of LinkedIn, because LinkedIn, you have to be careful. If you put too much information, you could have your identity stolen. So if you have your website, you could highlight things, and then after, yes, you could have a portfolio, a more private portfolio. So what I see right now, whether it's developers, engineer, architect, UX, UI people, DA, stuff like this, and even myself as an agile coach, if someone asks me something, I've got a one pager with the highlight thing, or I bring them to my service page on the AgileLounge.com. Right there, you go there, but I will give them a direct link to the 4 main domain that could provide services, and then it should be enough to, yeah, let's bring him to what we used to call an interview. But more and more, what I see now, it's not an interview. It will be a meeting to qualify, go in depth of that one pager presentation, or what they see on our website, what they see in the portfolio, and everything. Any work, because sometimes that's what we do. I don't receive CV anymore, even though here people will send me a link. I could appreciate it. Whether it's a word of mouth, a reference, I mean, so it depends. So there, and I understand there's still be out there probably more than 75%, especially I will talk in Canada, because I saw the number on Pricewaterhouse audit of HR. It's still about like 3/4 of the organization that are in a classic mode, asking for a CV with sometimes a qualified grid. Now they have like those kind of automated things to decide who's out on the top 5, top 10, and then you start calling this. But okay. And they could have also psychometric tests and stuff. So there's a lot of things. But the thing is, we have a shortage of worker. We have more project, more initiative than we have people to fill the role that we need to create a team. And with or without agility. Today, it's more like the wall of work and the wall of recruitment. So people waste less time in building a CV or whatever. So what you need is at least something to show up, let's say on paper or virtually, to still have the attention to get an interview that's becoming more a meeting and a conversation about, so you said that you could be a Scrum Master for my team. So you said that, so what make you, and so you go with these kind of powerful questions. And by the way, the recruiter should do a pre-screening. Okay, that's very good. But the real interview for me, and this is a message for candidate, don't spend too much energy and time try to please the recruiter. What you have to do in the pleasing mode is make sure you build a strong bond and great relationship with the recruiter. But again, it depends, because who you talk to. Do you talk to someone who is more like a call center agent, I call it? Unfortunately, maybe the one who just send you an email or a LinkedIn email message and something. Do they have a quota of contacting 19 candidates? Because that's another video you could see on my YouTube channel. The tips to recruiter to pay attention, to stop just spreading, making your numbers. So if it's about quantity, we have a problem here. And the candidate should provide quality. And you should have a bond with the recruiter. The recruiter should coach the candidate. So it's what Emmanuel is talking about candidate experience that he provides. And I know the guy, it's a win-win for everybody if you have in this mindset of working together to win that bid, to win that RFP, to win that mission that you should go in, whether you're a freelancer or you're internal. So all of these behavioral, what should I call it, interview and stuff like could be important, but could you show me concretely, according to your past experience, how did you solve it? So the behavioral aspect, it's still there in a conversation, but why doing it formally? So my question yesterday was, first, do you receive CVs? We said less and less. We try to present the candidate to our client and even internally with a more meaningful ways of, you ask for it, he or she does this, I think we have a match here, would you like to meet that person? And the meeting, then they will qualify according to what they're looking for, what they have to be done. So even the pre-work for the recruitment people and the talent acquisition people is, have you questioned the team lead? Have you questioned the leader of the department or the competency lead about the requirement? So again, it's the same thing as managing a value list of items to produce or to develop the product. But now it's at a human level. How do you create the fit? So a CV or whatever, so it's really long. A lot of people, how many blogs that you could read about, oh, no, I don't have, it's the 30 or 8 first second and boom, 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 attention span. So that's why, so it's kind of bizarre because a lot of people talked about it. But when it's time to just give a one-pager, even for a 15, 20 years old experienced person, I don't know, I need a more like robust CV. So what are you talking about? You could keep your CV, of course, to have a record for yourself of everything you did. And then after you just, okay, here's the requirement. Let's agree with the recruiter or with the talent acquisition person. Let's do this. You know, something that will speak to that person. Again, it's the audience, who you're talking to, what story you say. And are you a real, because when you talk in business management or consultant or coach, well, I'm sorry to say that, but you could fake it till you make it. We talked about it on our fake series, and this Wednesday there was about it in French. So, you know, there's a project manager, product manager, agile coach, business coach, scrum master. Show me your darkness and I will try to light up your light, because, oh my goodness, I was saying always that 85% of the Montreal market, it's full of fake certified coach. They are certified because it's easy to pass an exam, but they don't have experience. And when you look at their LinkedIn, when you look at their CV, they don't have experience as Scrum mastering, doing Kanban, whatever the thing that might needed. What is their experience about it? No, they did project management. They were BAs and stuff. But because it's a buzzword, because a lot of people ask for it, they go 3 days into an hotel. They're certified, and now it's on Zoom for a week. And bingo, they're Scrum Master. And they create this inflation of fake people, because what's happening is when you start doing the thing, and this is probably why we have a problem right now with this real agility in terms of value and principle to do patterns, because when it's really easy to understand all of those systems and mindset is very easy to understand, but the human interaction you will put in it, the substantion, it's another story. So it's this, that's why we had created a grid of questions, of powerful questions to help recruiter. So if you come to our Talent Agile training workshop, it's a practical workshop where we do simulation and when we provide you. So again, more information on my website, and you go into the service page and you will see our Eventbrite integration for you to book your session. And you're going to learn a lot more in depth about how to refine your questioning of those Scrum role people, including the product owner, if you are your summon. So we give you some tips about practical example they should tell you, and what they should also give you as an insight for you to make sure that you will hire someone with experience. And yes, you go into this behavioral type of questions with the powerful questions, because you want them to tell you a story about what they did with the context and example and so on and so on. So you could call it an interview, a meeting, or whatever. But what I'm saying now is, instead of a CV, you have a presentation. So you present a candidate according to the requirement. And you highlight this to make sure that you will like to meet that person and to start making your decision. And in the Agile world and the Agile leadership, what I see a lot with my clients, especially in the United States, is most of the time, even the first interview, there's no like 3, 4, 5 layers. At some point, like, you need that person to start yesterday. So you're going to do like 3, 4, 5 layers. Oh, I'm not sure about it. No. So what they do now, if I still take the example of a Scrum Master, if they are not capable of electing someone from the team and they need to go out, the team will be the first to have a conversation or that type of interview with the candidate. Okay? Maybe people care if it's a permanent job, I understand. They might do a first screening and present to the team, not just the team lead, to the team, the Agile team, the Scrum team, the art for those who save. And they should say, yes, we'd like to meet Isabel. We'd like to meet Rose. And we're going to have a conversation and make it easy, make it safe. I mean, like, don't do like at the university. When I was at the university, a table with 5 people and I'm sitting, no, don't do that. I saw someone doing this in Austin. I said, like, guys, because I said, we have to have fun. Okay, you have to have fun, but like, okay, but then after, please bring them on. So with one of my team a couple of years ago, we had like very nice couchy, loungy place. This is where Agile Lounge was kind of initiated because, and we did our Scrum daily there too. And sometimes after the Scrum daily, we will invite developers, designer from inner or outside to be in this kind of interview. But we will offer them a cafe, a croissant, and of course, me, I was like studying like the yes and no, what they will accept, like the way they could eat. So yeah, of course, we do a lot of bad thing in the background, but it's not the final decision. The final decision will be, is the team comfortable to work and to incorporate in their team and changing their working agreement, their ever-evolving working agreement within different release and so on. So I think if you really want to be agile, start doing agile stuff. And in talent acquisition, if you say you're agile, don't interview the developer, the designer, the UX, the marketing person, the business owner, or whatever the role is, and especially the Scrum Master, along with the people in IT, people in business. And no, do it right away into an open conversation right after the daily Scrum, if you apply Scrum. And have this conversation. Ask them, like, show them your problem, show them your darkness, and see if that person will be able. So that's like kind of a very holistic over teaser of what you could expect in my Talent Agile training, by the way. So the new world of work will be built with those type of interaction. And the recruitment process should be also agile, as the sales process is. We can no longer live into some proven method, but have a lot of deficiency, especially if you are asked by your client to deliver faster, to recruit faster. And especially now that a lot of people left Canada and some country in Europe for Asia, for South America, and for the United States, because the United States is still a more kind of freely open mindset. It's more agile in that sense without being officially agile. They are agile without knowing it because they apply common sense. They apply this open space. It's less hierarchical than Europe and some part of Canada. But in Canada, the problem is the consensuality that prevent real innovation and real openness. A lot of people will gargarize themselves of D&I, but they're not. Okay, so it's one thing. It's the same. A company, a candidate, or anyone, you could say whatever you want on your website, on your CV, on your presentation. But when it's time to do something, show it to me. So I will say that we should be empirical with that too. If you hire someone just out of the economic school and you put them in charge as a CFO, that might be a problem here. So where is the apprenticeship? Because with an apprenticeship, you could select candidate that could be the apprentice of a master, and you start a shuari process with them, and you incorporate them in the so you show them the work. When will you retire? He should have, or she should have, the promotion. So you see, this is another way of recruiting, bringing back this empirical process of apprenticeship. Last week, we talked a little bit with Sabine on the importance of reskilling. But again, reskilling, if you work into a corporation that embrace learning and professional development, that's very great. And that will be one of the lever to do this. But if you're not, if you're a freelancer, it's on your own. But what about having a mentor or a coach? And I love Sabine 90-day Scrum. It's included in it. You could start your pivoting, your reskilling and everything. But if you have someone in the field of what you want to become, helping you, coaching you, it's even better. So this is why, again, at the Agile Lounge, that's what we do. And we do it for free, or you buy me a coffee if you're satisfied. So we have a lot of sessions in real life at the Crew Collective in Montreal. Very soon back at the Bryant Park in New York as well. And we do, so I think that's also the way, even to reskill yourself to get the new job. You could apply these ways explained by Sabine last week. And I will say to recruiter, you better start thinking of how to become, like Emmanuel will put, a candidate experience leader. Because whether, even if the market switch back to a market of employer, because, it's like we are not house. Like it's the housing market. Now it's a buyer's market. Now it's a seller's market. Now, they do the same with this talent acquisition world. It's disgusting, guys. We are human beings. We need to improve our skills. We need to develop something. We need to feel engaged and everything. So the recruitment process for me, it's being welcoming, inviting again, and then you agree. So we all do it. But it should be more simple, more direct to the empirical, pragmatic way of having someone on board. And if you want to engage your people, especially if you want to be real agile, applying business agility, well, it's all about the team. It's all about people first. So the team should choose their teammate. And if you still work in a matrix type of thing, allocating resources internally to teams, I mean, excuse my French, but you're fucked. You're fracked. And that's why you keep having problems, and sometimes you have little wins because you keep pouring money and budget into it, but there's no sense. There's no purpose. And I'm loving it because I'm going to have a great, great podcast on the 43 episode that's coming up at the end of this month of October with someone who will she will enlighten us about this purpose-driven. A lot of people talk about outcome-driven, but what about a purpose-driven way of achieving something with an ever-evolving environment? And by the way, for recruiter, CV interviews is one thing, but how would you like to identify someone without going into too big of a, too big of these thing of psychometric and now the neuroscience things, like wasting a lot of money and times when you could actually, and let me show it to you for my visual listener. One of the tools I'm even using to my mentorship program, my FLEP program, and some part of my coaching program for those who would like to become more a real agile coach, enterprise coach and stuff. It's we explore together the Barrett model. Now let me see. Can I do something else like this? Maybe. Yeah, I like it like that. So as you could see here, this is the value assessment that any individual could actually do. Okay. And it's, of course, at the bottom, number 1 to 3, so from viability to performance. That's basically the Maslow pyramid of needs, but refined in terms of professional development and your value assessment of what do you have to bring and to propose into the world. And then after the number 4, it's the evolution over transformation. It's where you will, actually, as you could see here, courageously evolving, pivoting or reskilling yourself. And this is probably there you might need a 90-day scrum from Sabine. So how do you show your accountability, your ownership, how you will start your own transformation to be part of a transformation within the organization? How could you have space to be innovative and creative, continuously learning? Because remember, all of those stages are not a one-size-fits-all and are not either it's there to empower you. And we have a lot of agility into this, okay? And then after that stage of evolution, of pivoting and everything, now you start to go into what we call now, below it's the Maslow type of thing, pragmatic, materialistic. The evolution, it's the pivot stage, the spiral dynamic stage. And then from number 5 to number 7, and maybe we will uncover something more after 7, will be a 8 and a 9, and I don't know. Because that's the conscious leadership. That's the intuitive leadership. That's the everything else. All right, guys? That will continue cultivating the sense of collaboration with a great community, a network. We talked about it before. It's one thing to have your purpose, your why. Now, you will have the how you do it. But starting on alignment and collaboration, that's the 4th stage of freedom lifestyle. That's the 4th stage of you emancipating and elevate yourself. Because we need one another. Even the more introvert, even the more like shy people, because I'm not comparing introvert are not necessarily shy, but whatever is your temperament, whatever is we still need, according to the energy exchange, the interaction we want to have, we have to respect that, yes. So the introvert, they just need more time to recharge themselves. That's it. So they need more time alone with a book or walking in the wood. And by the way, yours truly, in terms of that definition of alignment and collaboration, I'm a lot more introvert. I know it doesn't sound like this, but the perception could be misleading. I need to be 80% of my week time alone in the wood with my bicycle, back in the day with my dog. So I just need 20% of interaction with human. It's enough for my energy level. So that's the real definition of an introvert. So don't tell me, oh, I'm introvert, so I cannot. No. Anybody could create their choice and they could move on into that scale. So let me stop here just to see across the board. In the chat, there's no one. So tell me, because I see about 20 people watching all over the social network. So if you have questions, please chat it. Let me know if you want me to open my phone for you or my Zoom audio. But really, I think that's one way. It's not the way. It's one of the way to any recruiter or talent acquisition. I will put the link in the pinned comment of YouTube for you to go there to valuecenter.com of the Barrett School of Conscious Leadership. And I think it's a great contribution because, and it's ever evolving, by the way. And and they even have the leadership model now, which is great because, when we start doing it, that was for the individual professional development. Now what we have, it's also the leadership. It's another buzzword nowadays, but there's some value in there. And it's a value assessment. So it's a very simple test that you do, and you will position yourself in the scale here. And from there, you could choose your path of evolution. Maybe help again by the 90 days kind of scales thing, because it's always take some. I don't believe in time as a dropout of astrophysics, because it's a movement in space, but it's it's a movement into your evolution. And I like this one because we talk about leadership model, and you're going to see at the end of this month, we're going to have a great show with someone who will talk to us about what's next for agile leadership. And again, agile, it's an adjective. So the Barrett leadership model could be applied to any type of business consultant, business coach, business owner, any C-level. I think C-level should do that test and position themselves. Are they still below the evolution factor of pivoting factor, changing the mindset? Are they ready to become an authentic leadership? Do they want to be a genuine self-expression, open, creative, integrate people, or they just want to be a visionary leader? And by the way, it's not a scale of who is better if you 1 or 7. It's about finding your X, finding your purpose-driven. The why. It starts with your why. Do you think Simon Sinek invented it? No way. It was there before. The golden circle was there before. So I really invite people to make your own search about it and use those different tools. And we could talk about the DISC, how to evaluate the DISC. And there's still one test that I love and people care. It's called Predictive Index, where actually the great people like my colleague Kim and other recruitment working closely with people care person and the competency leader or the career mentor for those organizations who are really people focused, people centric. So in that case, that's what you do. So you don't simply just do an interview, and you could send a survey, and that survey will tell us, okay, so the team has met this future engineer or this future Scrum Master. Now, according to the test, that Scrum Master, she will be great for that team because it's a predictive index of value assessment, behavioral, strategic, and tactical element. So it's one thing of what you say, what you present. Of course, you want to win something to pay your mortgage. It's totally understandable in the way we're still living now. But when we talk about the new world of work, it's a new economy that's coming up. So, of course, today we just touch for the 97% who still seek an employment, a permanent job, let's say. With at the beginning, I told you my example that I don't need that anymore. I do it another way. But still, that have to change. Not just because you need people faster than before, or there's a lack of people to do what you need them to do. But we could talk another hour on the subject. So please tell me in the comment below if you'd like to have more, and on which area of recruitment, talent acquisition, and continuous learning kind of experience. Because all of the disc that I talk in the predictive index could be a great kind of tool to help you refine what is being said into the group interview meeting. And let me tell you that back in the day in the call center, we did the same with those. We called them the coach. And the call centers, they were coaches, not supervisor, not the director of floor, whatever. They were coach because they were the greatest agent in the call center. They were a great communicator, really well organized, and they were able to show by their quality, the quality of their calls, the upsells, cross-sells they were doing, and also what we call the productivity, the number of calls per hour. So they have tactic to show to others. So that's why they became the coach of a team, and they were doing group and individual coaching to the team. And yours truly, as a student, I did that. So this is how I became a CRM kind of CX, customer experience and call center and customer engagement, because I was so good as selling tickets and selling product, and I was so good at moving on. So that's what we did. So it's always like, see it like an empirical evolution process. You recruit someone, and if you have a consultant, it's another story. So maybe I will do a B part of it for the consultant out there, how to sell yourself, how to make sure that it's another story, because now it could be another just 3 months, a 6-month contract. So you will not evolve in the company. But back in the day, when I used to build call centers for customer experience, everybody start as picking up the phone or doing some calls or both. Then after you start doing email, live chat, now you go to that team, you participate with marketing, and then you could become a coach because you're so good. And then from a coach, you're going to do a mapping or developing a training, call center itself, redoing the IVR, working with IT. So you could do everything when you start. So I'm giving you this example. There may be other examples. So please tell me in the comment below. And I hope you learned something. I see there's still about 20 people listening. I don't see anything anywhere in the chat unless there's a technical difficulty. So once again, Support the channel by subscribing and hit the bell, especially on YouTube and Rumble. Smash that like button, double click on the link, and spread this video to any recruiter you might know or any candidate that might need to refine his way of presenting herself or himself. And by the way, I'm telling you that we have a new podcast episode available now on Spotify, Apple, Deezer, and more, with Sabine Fabre talking about how to pivot, how to evolve in your personal development, how to change in 12 weeks with 90-day Scrum. So go there. It's going to be very amazing. And for me, I know it's a long weekend, especially in Canada. So I wish you all the best, guy. And I hope you learned something. And please teach me something in the comment below, or request me any type of subject you would like we address. And if you want to be part of the Dairy and Agile, we offer you our open mic. And the open mic is you propose a subject, we invite you, and we have a conversation about it. You and I, with your team, whatever, it's all open, it's free. And if it could help you show up in the world, I will be gladly welcoming you in person at the Crew Collective in Montreal, or at the Bryant Park in New York, Manhattan, and also virtually all around the world on my Melon application. No Zoom, no Teams. It's here, it's happening. We record it live or not, at your ease, because I'm doing a guest experience. Yes, fully agile. So thank you very much. And again, guys, remember. No, that will be another month, not today. Remember who you are, and who you are. I will keep saying it every week because I think it's important. You are a wonderful person. You are a powerful person, and you are free to be whoever you wanted to be and to do whatever you wanted to do, but in mutual respect of one another. On that, see you next week.